So what in the world is all the big fuss about hiking socks anyway? I mean, can't I just hike in my socks that I wear every day? Is it really that big of a deal? You ever ask those questions? Then stick around. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Here at Waterfall. All right, folks, let's get right into it. So what makes a good hiking sock, and why wouldn't you want to use your everyday socks? Well, first off, if you're hiking with your everyday socks, if you're going a short distance, it may not be so bad. But if you're going a longer distance, most of us are probably going to have a cotton sock or some sort of a cotton blend kind of a sock. That holds moisture and it traps it right by your feet. That'll end up causing blisters in the long run. That's exactly what you just don't want to do. So in order to get around that, you want some sort of a synthetic blend or some sort of a wool blend. Usually merino wool is going to be a lot softer and less itchy than regular wool. And you're going to probably have some things with some, some polyesters and some lycra, spandex, and other things in them as well, maybe some nylon. Those kinds of things are going to make a much better hiking sock so that you don't have to worry about getting blisters from moisture being trapped by your feet. Now, let's talk about hiking socks then. What makes a good hiking sock? Well, let me give you 4 things to look for. First off, we're going to talk about the sock height. What height of a sock do you need? Secondly, we're going to talk about the fabric. Then we'll talk about the cushioning. And finally, we'll talk about the fit. And then I'll give you a couple of other bonus things related to hiking socks there at the end. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the sock height. Socks range in all different kinds of heights, as you know, and hiking socks are no different. So you've got your no-show socks, you've got your low cut, your ankle socks, all the way up to what we would typically think of as your crew socks. You can even go over the calf, over the knee, what we would more call of a knee sock. All of these are used in hiking. The most common one is going to be crew socks or ankle socks. Now, it depends on what kind of a shoe you're wearing. So kind of hard to see right here, but I'm wearing my trail shoes today. Normally, I'm wearing boots. So if I'm wearing my trail shoes, then maybe an ankle sock might be fine for that. I am not a fan of hiking in no-show socks or low-cut socks because what it is, I want that sock to come up over the top of my shoe in order to prevent blistering going and rubbing around my shoe. If I'm hiking, it's not like I'm just walking around the mall or I'm walking around the grocery store. If I'm hiking, it's because I'm out in the great outdoors and I'm going to be hiking considerable distance. If I'm going to put some mileage on, then I don't want something to be rubbing my feet. So the first thing that you got to do is pick out a sock that's right for what you're doing. Normally I'm hiking with hiking boots. I'm just on a short little jog to film some of these videos for you today, so I got my trail shoes on because I'm not putting a ton of mileage in. Putting a lot of mileage in, then I'm going to want my hiking boots on, and I'm gonna use a crew sock for that mostly. Now, again, that's a personal preference. Then some of you may not like crew, some of you may not like the ankle. It's going to be what happens for you, but the most important thing is you find the right height for the shoe that you have in such a way that it doesn't rub. Secondly, let's talk about the fabric then. We've already established the fact that we don't want cotton sock because cotton will hold moisture in and you don't want that. So what kind of a fabric do you want? Well, you want wool or a polyester or some sort of a blend. So I've got several socks here that you could potentially choose from, and socks that you could get come really in all different price ranges. Some hikers would swear by, for example, the Darn Tough Vermont socks. Darn Toughs are good, so I've got just a little information written down here. So if you go with the Crew Hiker Style 1466, those are going to be $25 a sock, $24.95 on Amazon as the date of recording this. Now those are good. Those are 63% merino wool and then 35% nylon, and you've got 2% 2% Lycra spandex. So that's going to be a quality sock there, but you don't have to spend 25 bucks for one sock to get that. For example, if you are into fitness, you might recognize the Fit socks, for example. This is a very popular brand for fitness socks. Here's the thing about it, these are also good for hiking. They're very soft, they're very comfortable to wear, but this is the CF2 Crew. This is $20 for 2 of these, so you've cut the price from Darn Tough Vermont in half by going with this. 78% polyester, 20% nylon, and 2% spandex in this. So with these kind of a socks, you're still going to be able to get some quality. There's no merino wool in here. And merino wool is going to be something that you might want to consider more if you're going in the wintertime, because it's going to provide a little bit more warmth for you. But for a summer sock, this is especially a pretty good one, and that can do that. And again, not too bad of a sock. But, you know, you can do other brands too. For example, one of my favorite things to hike in is just these good old Dickies socks. These Dickies socks do have some wool in them. They're a merino wool bought at Walmart. They're advertised cool in the summer, warm in winter. This is their Performance Outdoor Wool Blend Crew. It's 47% acrylic, 22% polyester, 21% merino wool, 7% nylon, 3% spandex. So you can see with this, you get a very quality blend. Again, you've got some of that merino wool in there, so you've got the warmth for the winter time. The great thing is, even the merino wool during the summertime can help you keep cool. And you might think that seems rather counterproductive to this, but it's really not. Another thing that you'll want to look for with these socks in any that you do here is get one that, we'll talk about this when we get to the fit, but another good thing is the arch support. That's an absolute must for me because I've got bad ankles, and so that helps to support me more. And pretty much all of these have this, but these particular ones from Dickies is kind of the brand that I swear by unless I'm using a specialized sock. I also happen to like Stance socks as well. That's what I'm wearing today, is my Stance socks. But that, either my Stance socks, which are about the same kind of blend for this, but these wool blend Dickies are kind of my go-to swear by things. If you want to go a little bit further in the wintertime, then you might get something like these Kodiak Heat. These are cold weather socks. They are thicker, they're high performance. They claim themselves to be an ideal alternative to wool socks. And they are pretty comfy. Again, there's no cotton in here at all. It's 85% acrylic and 15% olefin, which is exclusive of elastic, it says. So these are thermal heat socks. Again, something that would be good for that. But just to show you that you don't even have to go really expensive like that, I've got some other socks like here. I just bought this one. This was from Yellowstone National Park whenever I went. And there's no cotton in these either. They're excellent to hike in. You can get just plain old Realtree socks from Dollar General. These are the Crew version. I've got an unopened pack here of some ankle, but just basically the same thing. And I really like these a lot. 95% polyester and 5% spandex. These are actually really good for your everyday socks as well. And if you want Dickies brand, Dickies also makes a merino wool that's in that ankle kind of thing as well. So whether you're wanting for the winter or whether you're wanting it for the summer, you've got a sock there that can hold your needs there. But the biggest thing with your fabric is no cotton, because we want that moisture wicking. All right, let's talk about cushion. What kind of cushion do you need? Well, there's no cushion, there's kind of a mid-weight, and then there is a full cushion. So what I would say here with a sock like this is just there's very little cushioning in it. It's just kind of your basic sock that goes on. There's kind of a mid-level cushion, which is what these Dickies are. They provide a little bit of cushioning. If I'm going for just a couple of miles on the trail, then maybe this would be perfectly fine and not so bad. If I'm going to go on a lengthier trail, then I'm going to want something that's got a heavier cushion, especially during the winter time. Then you want to go with a thicker sock, because that thicker sock, even though the extra cushioning is going to provide more warmth even during the summertime, that extra cushioning is also going to absorb a lot more of the shock as your boot steps on the ground, and that's going to help you out in the long run. So you've got to decide what kind of cushioning do you want. So you've got the cushioning. Lastly, let's talk then about the fit. You want to make sure that your socks fit you. So you want to make sure that it is not too loose on you. You don't want us to be such a big sock that your feet are sliding around in it. You don't want it too tight either. The best recommendation I can give for you, though, is to get your hiking socks, put them on whenever you're going to try on your hiking shoes. If you're going to buy new ones, make sure that you are wearing the socks that you're going to wear with it, because your hiking shoes are just as important as your socks, and you want those two to live kind of happily there. The biggest thing is that you want a proper fit there. And as I said, for me, one of the biggest things as well is arch support. And pretty much all hiking socks have that arch support, but that's an absolute must for me. A couple more things as a bonus here. First off, let's talk about blister prevention here. Sometimes, no matter what kind of a cushioning you get, if you can get the thickest cushioning and you can get the right fit of the socks, some people are just prone to blisters. One of the things you can do is buy a liner sock. A liner sock is a pretty thin sock that you put underneath of your main hiking sock. And they're made out of special materials that will wick that moisture away. You're probably getting the blisters because you're getting a little bit too sweaty and the moisture staying up against your skin. So that could be a possibility. Liner socks have become kind of obsolete in recent years, though, because hiking socks have become so advanced that the liner socks really aren't needed that much anymore. But if you find yourself prone to blisters, that might be a possibility for you. And then one other thing, maybe try toe socks. Injinji is probably the most popular brand of toe socks, and they make some great socks that have the wool blends and polyester blends and things that would be great for hiking as well. Those can help prevent blisters as well. So I'm not a big toe sock person personally, but I'm not too prone to blisters. And if you are, that's just something that you can try. Can't hurt. Last thing. What if you are backpacking then? So you have hiked in your socks all day, you've gotten them sweaty. Well, you're going to take a couple of socks for backpacking, because you're going to want to dry one out and then wear one the next day so that you've got that. But another thing that you can actually do to help add some warmth at night is these down booties. These are from Baffin, and these are meant to keep your feet very warm whenever you are in the tent at night. So not exactly a sock, but if you're not wanting to wear your wool blend socks to bed and you're still wanting to be able to keep warm, these little Baffin booties are a lifesaver for that. Well, folks, I hope that helped answer some of your questions about hiking socks. There's probably a lot more that we could say, and there's probably a lot of questions that you might have. If you got some of those questions, drop it in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer as much as I can. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.